All thoughts and emotions have form. They are very real, very tangible, and very nearly almost solid things. And I know what you're thinking. What is this woo-woo nonsense that this girl in the bush is talking about? But let me explain it to you in a way that I know you're going to understand. And it's going to seem very obvious once I've explained it to you. Because all we're relying on for evidence is your own lived and felt experience. Have you ever known what someone was thinking without them saying it? Have you ever walked into a room and felt like the toxic vibe hit you in the guts like a sledgehammer? Have you ever got the heebie-jeebies and sensed danger when there was no obvious danger around? Has someone's angry outburst or secret angry feelings ever smacked you over the head like a great swinging fist? Or have you ever been in the immediate proximity of someone who was extremely anxious and then found yourself feeling anxious as though the anxiety was actually yours? If thoughts and emotions didn't have a form-like quality to them, then how could we be having a very form-oriented, physical reaction, biological response to our own thoughts and our own emotions and to other people's thoughts and emotions? This isn't woo-woo. This is real. I know that you have felt it yourself. We like to believe that our innermost thoughts, feelings, emotions, and beliefs about things are entirely private and that they have no real significant or lasting impact. We like to believe that our inner reality is secret, not affecting or creating our physical reality in any kind of way. We've even been encouraged to give voice to and to give vent to any and all of even our most violent or vile inner thoughts, feelings, and emotions, as though that is better and less damaging than actually acting these thoughts and feelings out. But just as you have been physically, biologically, tangibly, even emotionally and psychologically impacted by other people's thoughts, emotions, and innermost secret workings, other people have also been impacted and affected by you and what you believe to be your own inner secret reality. You don't even realize how much you are affected and impacted by your inner secret reality. Your thoughts, your inner emotions, and your beliefs are not as harmless and as docile as you believe them to be. In fact, everything that you transmit, everything that you give energetic, internal, or external voice to, anything that you hand the microphone to, is energy which is set in motion. And as soon as this energy is set in motion, it sets about creating in a very real way. The scientific community now confirms what the mystics and occultists have always believed, and that is that all matter has a single energetic source, rather than matter being physical, dense, solid, immovable in the way that we believe it to be, in the way that our senses, which are locked into physicality, convince us that matter is. Matter is actually energy. Matter is energy slowed down so much in vibration that it just has the appearance of being solid. Actually, everything is constantly in motion. And this stuff, which is in motion, is energy, is electricity, is life force, is the stuff and substance of the universe, of our thoughts, of our beliefs, of our feelings, slowed right down so as to give the appearance and the illusion of solidity, of permanence, of physicality. Now, because we possess senses that are vibrating or resonating at the same frequency or in the same frequency bandwidth as all of that stuff that we believe to be physical, our senses are physically oriented and so lock us into a version of reality that appears to be solid. So our five senses are kind of confirming for us the sensed reality and the belief that the form world is indeed physical, that we can't walk through that tree over there, that we can't lose our cells and bleed out all over the place, that we can't project our thoughts right across to the other side of the globe. But if we didn't have our physically oriented senses locking us into a very physical and dense bandwidth of energy that appears to be physical, then we would be perceiving and experiencing and relating with this same energy that comes together to build our physical world at a slightly higher vibration and frequency. We would begin to tap into and to expand our consciousness and our awareness back out into other bandwidths and frequencies of energy. So basically, we would be vibrating in such a way that is not so low and slow that we have the feeling and the experience of being locked in by our physical senses to the physical realm. And instead, our vibration would be altered or heightened just a little bit so that we were tapping into the realms and the realities that exist just beyond our dense and physical one. We would begin to perceive and to engage and interact with the energy that is coming together to form our physical realm just before it hits its lowest point and becomes the slowest and lowest in vibration. But just because we can't presently see, taste, smell, hear, or feel this energy that exists at a slightly higher vibration doesn't mean that it's not there. It's all around us. And if our modern world has taught us anything, with its technology, with the Wi-Fi that's flying through the air, with the electricity that's zinging around the place, then surely it has been to expand our minds to accept the existence of things that we cannot see, that we cannot touch, that we cannot taste, that we cannot hear, and that we cannot necessarily feel. So these realms and this energy exists all around us. It fills the space all around us. And what do you think is impacting and setting this energy in motion? What causes this energy to take on a particular form and to express in the physical world, in the physical realm, in certain ways? Surely this energy is being acted on by energy which exists at an even higher vibrational frequency to it, or by energy that exists at a lower or denser, slower frequency to it. What I'm trying to say is that there are other bits to you. There are other bits to reality. There's a version of you, or there are parts of you that exist already at slightly higher vibrations and frequencies. And all of your bits, all of your parts are interfacing with each other, are interacting and impacting each other. And not only that, but all of our bits are impacting and are interacting with all other bits of all other things and everyone else. We are co-creating together. So the energy that is your consciousness, the energy that is your feelings, your emotions, your beliefs, and your thoughts, in a sense, is just as real and just as tangible as your physical body. It just exists at a slightly higher frequency or bandwidth that you can't see, touch, feel, taste, or smell because of the physical reality that your physically oriented senses have you locked into. But that doesn't mean that this energy isn't there, just the way that the Wi-Fi signal doesn't cease to be just because you can't see it, or you can't smell it, or you can't touch it or taste it. It's still there, it's all around you. It's not competing for space with you, it's just coexisting in the same space with you at a slightly higher rate, vibration, and frequency in a bandwidth that your physically oriented senses do not allow you to perceive. And not only that, but the energy of your emotions, your thoughts, and your beliefs is creative energy. It is energy that you send out from yourself, which takes on a wave-like form, which collides with other wave-like forms to set certain things and certain sequences of events in motion. This energy causes molecules to dance together, to collide with each other, to separate from each other. So you are impacting, and you are extraordinarily, extremely and heavily, viscerally and tangibly impacted by the energetic environment that you find yourself in. You are impacted by your beliefs, and your beliefs impact the kind of physical reality that you are experiencing. And we do this together through the mechanism of our thoughts, of our emotions, our beliefs, our stresses, our questions, our explorations and our discoveries. Every single person is constantly sending out a stream of energy from themselves. And this stream of innermost activity causes energy once again to take on a wave-like form. And similar waves coagulate. They come together to create something unified. Like attracts like, not only physically, but also energetically. So if you are thinking a strong enough thought or feeling a strong enough emotion about something in particular, because of this similarity and because of this tendency for like to attract like, then the energy that you are sending out from yourself, however much you might think that you're containing it, unless you are deliberately, energetically containing yourself, which you can do, and I have videos that talk about how to do that exactly, then the energy that you are sending out from yourself is going to be attracted to similar energy to it. It's going to be attracted to and drawn towards the object of your feeling, of your thought, of your concern, of your question. So if you've ever felt walloped by this sudden thought or nasty feeling that someone who you're not even in close physical proximity to has just had about you, that's why. They didn't contain it, they sent it out from themselves, and that energy found you. And you are doing the same thing all the time. But that energy doesn't just remain amorphous. That energy doesn't just always remain in a realm that exists outside of our physical reality. That energy, if it becomes strong enough, if there's enough intent, if there's enough curiosity, if there's enough pain, if there's enough confusion, if there's enough ferocity in the energy, will eventually, in its coagulation, become heavy. And as it becomes heavy, it will slow down, it will lower in vibration until it lowers so much in vibration that it becomes physical, or it hits the physical realm, and it has a very real impact. It starts to create in the physical dimension. So when you hear people talking about how if you believe something strong enough, you can manifest it for yourself, they half know what they're talking about, because through your beliefs, through your thoughts, through your feelings, through your deeds, through your energetic alignment and orientation, you are indeed manifesting. You are indeed setting in motion the energy that is eventually going to come together to create your physical experience. It's energy that eventually, if it becomes strong enough, if it becomes powerful enough, is going to coagulate, accumulate, become heavy, lower in its vibration, and begin manifesting in the physical realm. And if enough people believe it, if enough people put enough emotion into a thing, if enough people think a thing, then that thing can kind of solidify and entify, allowing other people to have access to it as well, plugging them into an energetic matrix that becomes to them their reality. So when I say that your thoughts and your emotions are things, are very real and tangible things, that's what I mean. They are energy that you are sending out from yourself. The energy that you send out from yourself has a wave-like form, and that wave-like form is moving through and interacting with the physical realm to be felt and taken up by other people. So the mystics and the occultists had it right when they demanded of their students that they learn how to develop mastery over their emotional and their mental state. It was very much understood that the energy which was being set in motion through thought and emotion was creating and could be causing very real harm. But it's not just about learning how to have mastery over those negative thoughts and emotions that we don't want to be setting in motion. It's about learning how to orient our minds and our internal reality in such a way that we're thinking and feeling, emoting, expressing, and sending out from ourselves energy which is of a positively creating vibration and frequency. Rather than haphazardly going about our day, grumbling and getting negative and down on the world and other people and thinking and feeling whatever it is that we want, giving voice and vent and rant to whatever passing and whimsical thought or feeling may be consuming us in that moment, it would do the world a lot of good if more of us spent more of the time focused on the things that really matter, aware of our creative potential and the potency of the creative energy that we are sending out from ourselves, choosing to create and contribute our energy to creating a world and a reality which is about love, contributing to the healing and the upliftment of this place, rather than contributing to the hatred, the harm, the fear, the separation, the jealousy, the insecurity, the depression, the anxiety, and the negativity that's running a little bit rampant in our world today. I think Jesus was onto something when he said to love thy neighbor, almost like he was a mystic or an occultist that knew the impact that energy was having. So it is important to learn how to recognize your energy. It is important to learn how to contain your energy so that you are neither sending out energy which causes harm or receiving energy from the external environment which causes you harm. It's important that you get in touch with and start taking responsibility for your innermost feelings, thoughts, emotions, and experiences. And that rather than sending that energy out from you as a harmful and detrimental creative wave, taking responsibility for that energy internally, harmonizing that energy and transmuting and transforming that energy, raising the vibration of that energy so that it takes on a higher vibration before you send it out from yourself. We do this through deeply acknowledging how we feel, releasing the judgment of how we feel, accepting how we feel, feeling how we feel, and then consciously and deliberately choosing to feel something else instead. So we must become masters of our energetic contribution and our energetic outputting, refusing to contribute and to output energy which causes harm or which is detrimental, understanding the impact that our innermost, apparently secret reality is having on the world and on other people, and then deliberately choosing to orient ourselves in such a way and to use our energy in such a way that we are producing outcomes, realities, and experiences of love. So we need to practice tolerance. Again, we need to practice compassion. We need to practice understanding, seeing things from other people's perspectives. We need to practice calm assurance. We need to practice self-love, self-respect. We need to practice seeing unity and oneness and our sameness with other people. And I'm not talking about being all Pollyanna and putting rose-colored glasses on and pretending that everything is lovely and wonderful. In order for us to be consciously and deliberately creating, we've got to be real about what is currently in the process of being created and which creation we are currently experiencing. Because in order to know what it is that we want to do differently, we've got to know what it is that we would change. That requires insight, it requires wisdom, it requires clarity, it requires seeing the world for how it currently is. But it also requires not feeling helpless in the face of all of that, and choosing to be empowered as you make a different energetic choice. You choose which energy you take up into your reality. You choose what you're building your body out of, because no doubt your body is built out of, or is at least heavily impacted by your thoughts, your emotions, your innermost beliefs, because all of that is energy that you are setting in motion. And we know that the energy that you're setting in motion is coming together to create physical reality. So you're built out of your thoughts, your feelings, your beliefs. So in order to change things, we've got to see things for how they really are. We've got to know which things to say no to. We've got to know which things to refuse entrance to. We've got to know which things we no longer want to be sending out from ourselves, and then we've got to know which things we actually want. So take some time to consider that. What kind of reality do you want to live in? What kind of experience do you want to be having? What kind of world do you want to be contributing to and creating with your own energy? So when I say that your emotions and your thoughts are very real things, that's what I mean. They're all around you. And your entire inner secret reality is creating the world, the realm, and the reality, the body that you live and exist in. So let's take responsibility for it.